Hi guys, welcome to another weekly video. Kayong here from Alpha Play Chief Currency Strategist. Right. Once again, if you are new to this video, what we usually do is we recap quickly on what we shared last week. Alright, the analysis that we've done last week, where the currency is currently, how price has moved. Alright, to share with you an update. And then after that, in the later part of this video, we'll share with you some of the insights and potential that you can, opportunities that you can take for this particular week itself. For those who have been following us some time, I'd like to welcome you back for this particular trading week. So let's kickstart, by reviewing what we shared last week. Alright, so you can quickly take a look at our website. Alright, last week our focus was on the dollar index. We shared that we are actually bullish at the start of the week, and then once it hit a certain level, we'll shift towards having more bearish sentiment on the US dollar. Right, so at the start of the week, we shared that I will show you on the 4-hour time frame. We shared that as long as price is still moving higher, we are actually slightly bullish and expecting it to tag the 101.48 to 102 area. Right, and even on a smaller time frame on H1, we are still calling out for buy opportunity as long as price hasn't touched the 101.5. Right, just to quickly show you what happened then last week was that price did continue to rally on the dollar index, and you can see last week high it tagged the 101.74, and you can see that strong momentum from the sellers. Right, so if you actually followed last week call, which we shared, right, not only in the video but also on the blog, you will actually be profiting quite nicely from the upside on the dollar, as well as if you reverse the position to sell once it tagged this area, you'll be also in the profit. Right, so let's take a look as to this week. Okay, and then I'll follow up on some of the analysis as well. So this week, if you look at the events calendar, it's pretty quiet relative to last week itself. Okay, this Monday is actually the US holiday, so it won't be much movement in the market. Later on Tuesday this week, we do have some Euro PMIs coming in. It's not gonna be significant in terms of moving the market much, but just keep an eye on all this, because all these PMI data will add up into eventually whether the ECB will want to increase rate or stop their QE and etc. Right, Wednesday is pretty quiet as well, nothing much. You can look at the events calendar. The key event for this week, right, the focus itself is still on the US dollar, because we do have one FOMC meeting minutes. Right, if you click into this is actually scheduled 8 times per year. It's released 3 weeks after the Fed funds rate, right, which is this is on Feb, right, so this is released after the January Fed funds rate, which is actually on hold. So this meeting minutes will be crucial, because we would like to see and see whether Yellen, right, the possibility of 3 rate hike in 2017 is still in place, and will we see a potential rate hike in next month. Okay, so this is going to be crucial for the US dollar. Right, and after that on Friday you see that there are some data, right, but it's not the significant one. So relatively this week is pretty quiet in terms of risk event, and the focus to us is still on the dollar index. Alright, so this week focus is still on the dollar index. If you look at the daily time frame, this is what we are looking out for, right? Since the start of this year, we see a drop, right? But this drop overall is actually a correction of the entire move since May 2016. Right, and we do not expect the rally to start, simply because we expect one more move towards the downside to complete a 3-wave correction, right, somewhere in between the 98.4 to 97.1 area for this correction to complete. Okay, so as long as price doesn't breach below this invalidation level of 95.97, we're gonna hold a bullish bias on the dollar index in the long term. Right, and what I'm expecting is one more move towards the upside after price has tagged this area. Okay, but that's on a longer time frame, it's on a daily perspective. On a shorter time frame, right, H4 wise, we are still expecting one more move towards the downside. Okay, so this is the move that we've seen from the start of this year, right, towards somewhere early Feb. This entire move down is a correction, right? And right now we see that this move up is not very impulsive. It's not very strong in momentum, right? So we are expecting one more move towards the downside. As long as this structure high that has been established last week, it's not breached. Okay, so as long as price remains below 101.76, we're gonna hold our slightly bearishness bias on the dollar index. Looking at an intraday time frame, alright, on a H1, we do have some potential setting up, okay, for short opportunities. You can see that price last week, once it tagged the high, it has broken the overall trend line of that structure. Okay, so right now it's currently in a retracing mode, and once it pulled back towards the 101.09 to 101.24, it will be a decent opportunity to look for short. Alright, and how far it can go is we need a significant break below this 100 level, right? And then this will open up more downside opportunity. But as long as price remains above this, alright, we are still holding a bearish bias on the dollar index. Alright, so since we are bearish on dollar, alright, what are some of the pairs that are potentially gonna move, and what are some of the pairs that we can take opportunity on? Right, so in terms of commodities, one of the clearer setups that you can see is actually on oil. Alright, on a H4 time frame, alright, I'll show you on the daily first. On the daily perspective, we are still bullish on this. Alright, we are expecting more upside as long as actually price remains above the 39, right? But this is a very wide range, so it's not suitable for trading unless you are a long-term trader, or I would say investor in the oil. So if you drop into a lower time frame of H4, it's very clear that what price is doing over here is actually in a consolidation phase. Right, it's forming what we call a triangle pattern. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We expect the fifth wave down, right, to complete this triangle before another move higher. Okay, so right now over here is not a very good opportunity for you to look for long, simply because the risk to reward might not be the best one that you can take. Okay, so in terms of oil this week, is best for it to wait, alright, be patient for it to drop lower. Somewhere around 51.6 will be a decent opportunity to look for a long setup. Alright, so similarly for H1 time frame, this is also in a range consolidation. We expect a drop first before another move higher. Okay, another good decent opportunity to share with you is on Kiwi dollar. Alright, so this one we shared 2 weeks ago on a bearishness perspective. Alright, on daily time frame, overall it's still bearish. Alright, we expect price to tag this area. So it hasn't touched this area on daily, so on a lower time frame we still expect move lower. But once price tag this area between 0.7058 to 7118, right, we expect a move higher from there. Right, so on a higher time frame basis, daily we are bullish bias. Okay, but if I bring you to 4 hour, we are slightly bearish on it, right, simply because we don't see the correction being completed yet. Alright, since the move from here, alright, late last year, around December period, to somewhere earlier Feb this year, okay, this entire move itself is very strong upwards. Alright, you can see it's actually a very extended 5-wave move. What we are seeing now is just a correction. Okay, but this correction we do not expect it to complete yet. Alright, we still can see more downside potential. Right, so on an intraday trading time frame basis, we see 5-wave down, right, with an expanding ending diagonal over here. So we expect 3 moves to the upside, right, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so it's an A, B, C, right, to complete your higher degree B wave. This one over here, this move you can see, alright, it's actually not gonna continue very much, simply because it's losing momentum, it's losing the strength to go lower. So normally when you see this pattern, alright, you're gonna expect one more move towards the upside, alright, which coincide with our analysis that it will tag this area around 7255 to 7283. That will be a very good opportunity for you to look for short. Alright, and then where and how low it can go is between this zone. Alright, so if you short it over here, your risk is pretty small. Alright, because you can do something like this. If you short it at a 50%, you just need to put somewhere above the 618. Alright, and your target can go conservatively at a 50% retracement on a higher time frame. You can also get a risk to reward of 2.5. Alright, so that's it for this week. Sharing with you this opportunity as well as on the dollar index. If you have any other questions, alright, feel free to drop them under the comment section below. Alright, and I'll talk to you next week.